Good evening, everyone. Sorry, I had a couple little delays there. My name is Stuart Bailey. I'm one of the band directors at Sandburg High School. Welcome to our mid-year band concert. We're going to kick things off tonight with our newest band, which is our beginning band. What's kind of cool about this is we have students who are starting an instrument for the first time, a woodwind or brass instrument, have never played in band before. We have some students who are learning a secondary instrument, and we have some students actually learning a third or even fourth instrument in this band. This is an extra band class, not meant to replace concert band or symphonic band or wind symphony, but it's an extra class that meets during the 4th hour lunch. So a couple short pieces to play. We're going to start with point 5. I hope you enjoy it. George Bailey, a big thank you too for helping us out, filling in with some percussion. Got one more tune to play for you. And again, really proud of these folks. Some of these folks have only been playing for, what, not even 2 months? And already out doing a concert, which is really cool. Here is Dark Star. short stage transition. We'll be right back with you. So the next 5 pieces you're going to hear are going to be chamber music. I don't know if anyone had a chance to hear our wind symphony, flute ensemble, clarinet ensemble, and we also had the alto sax piano duet going on. So last week we had our solo ensemble festival, which is a requirement for everybody in the band program. And we're going to play some of that for you this evening. The symphonic and concert band people, along with our first hour percussion, we're going to each play a portion of our chamber music for you for them. The Wind Symphony folks have a little bit longer program with their full band, and therefore that's why we had their chamber music going a little bit earlier. So I'm going to start with one of our clarinet ensembles, and this is Waltz alla Scherzo. Group up will be our concert band trumpet quartet. moving on to a mixed wind ensemble. You see we have some clarinets. We have bass clarinet, contrabass clarinet, and tuba, making up one of my favorite chamber music pieces that I've done in my years of teaching. This is Andervij by Edvard Grieg. Moving on, this is our symphonic band saxophone ensemble, playing Parade by Johann Sebastian Bach. Festival last week, the students got a chance to work with some really fine high school and collegiate level coaches playing chamber music and getting feedback. So we're moving on to now our percussion ensemble. We're going to play a portion of a piece called Dark Flight. This can also be a little bit of a preview to Percussorama. And Percussorama is coming up on April 2nd, a little earlier this year. It's our once-a-year all-percussion concert, and you'll hear some stuff like this. This is the second half of Dark Flight. Pause while we reset for our full symphonic band and concert.
Hello, my name is Brian Hillhouse. I teach the bands with Mr. Bailey. In front of you is the entire combined symphonic band, concert band, and percussion band. We're going to play two tunes for you together tonight. The first one is a John Philip Sousa favorite. This one's entitled El Capitan, after his comedic operetta, also named El Capitan. You'll hear themes throughout the entire thing, throughout the entire operetta, but these are, they were kind of compiled all into a very famous march, a favorite by many, El Capitan. Enjoy.
teacher from the fall, Mr. Yanni Ovalle from the University of Illinois. Did a really nice job with us. He's actually out on the job circuit right now. But he said, Mr. Bailey, you got any music by Viet Quang? I said, no, I've heard of him. We haven't done any of his music. He goes, we're doing a lot of it at U of I and all the different ensembles. And he's really creative and really innovative. Very young composer in his 20s and writes some really creative stuff. I want to tell you a little bit about Diamond Tide. Mr. Kwong writes, a 2010 article published in Nature Physics details an experiment in which scientists were able to successfully melt a diamond and for the first time measure the temperature and pressure necessary to do so. When diamonds are heated to very high temperatures, they don't melt. They simply turn into graphite, which then melts, and the thought of liquid graphite isn't nearly as appealing or beautiful as liquid diamond. Therefore, the addition of extremely high pressure, 40 million times the pressure of what we feel on Earth at sea level, is crucial to melt a diamond. The extreme temperature and pressure used in this experiment are found on Neptune and Uranus, and scientists therefore believe that seas of liquid diamond are possible on these two planets. Oceans of diamond may account for these planets' peculiar magnetic and geographic poles, which do not line up like they do here on Earth. Lastly, as scientists were melting the diamonds, they saw floating shards of solid diamond forming in the pools, just like icebergs in our oceans. Imagine distant planets with oceans of liquid diamond filled with bergs of sparkling solid diamonds drifting in the tide. These theories are obviously all conjecture, but this alluring imagery provided heaps of inspiration for Diamond Tide, which utilizes the melting sounds of metallic water percussion and trombone glissandi throughout. Hope you enjoy movement 2 of Diamond Tide. before they leave the stage, I wanted to do this before the piece started. I got ahead of myself. But we could not do that piece in El Capitan without some of our Wind Symphony folks coming in to help and fill out some instrumentation. Wind Symphony folks, can you stand if you're helping us on this? Give them a round of applause. Really appreciate our Wind Symphony folks helping us. Right, we'll have one more brief pause while we reset for Wind Symphony. Thank you for your patience. Well, Wind Symphony's coming out. I'll try to get through some of my thank yous and announcements right now. You heard from our music boosters earlier. We couldn't do this, first of all, without their help. Mrs. Gina Alvarez and our awesome music boosters. Give them a big round of applause. Now, as of this morning, we only had about 59 out of over 100 band members who signed up to help with the craft show. So there's still about a little under half of the band members as of this morning had not signed up to help. I'm going to be here tomorrow night, Saturday, Sunday. I saw Dr. Smith, who's wishing me luck for tonight and tomorrow and Saturday and Sunday. Give Dr. Smith, by the way, a big round of applause once again for finding time in his busy schedule to come up. So I know I'm repeating myself from what Jen Farrell said earlier, but please, students and parents, if you can help, we could really use that. Our District 230 Foundation concert is next Wednesday at Wheaton College. Our Wind Symphony, along with Stagg and Andrew, will be performing at Wheaton College. Some of you might have come down last year when we played at Symphony Center, but that's going to be a great concert. Our guest conductor is the band president at ILMEA, Dr. Melissa Gustafson-Hines from Fallon High School. Super happy to have her with. Those of you going to New York, the next New York trip payment, I believe, is coming up tomorrow. If you have your credit card, I think that's an automatic deduction, but please contact me or Bob Riders Travel if you have any questions. You're going to hear a piece at the end, which is going to feature some Japanese drumming, and if you can, in the balcony, you might see these Japanese drums back there. They're really cool, and we wouldn't have them if it wasn't for Dr. Jim Yakas, Director of Percussion at Vandercook, and awesome band here. And I don't know if Dr. Yakas is here. We can give him a big thank you and round of applause. Yeah, Dr. Yakas. Then again, big thank you to Jeff Epperson, our Surgeon of Sound. Give him a big thank you and round of applause. And we also have Mr. Matt Knopke here tonight, who's helping with the admin on duty along with Dr. Smith. So give Mr. Knopke a big round of applause. And of course, Shauna Rolla, our awesome assistant principal, Janet Daniels, is our division chair. I feel like I'm going to have the band playing like on the Oscars. They're going to play me off any second now for going too long on announcements. All right, we'll do a brief warm-up and then we'll be right with you. heard was Diamond Tide, which was just written a few years ago. That march, that's the original version of it, bombastic, written in 1895. Very rare to find band music that old. O.R. Farrar wrote that for a military band in Nebraska at the time. And it's also been used as a circus march. I like that march a lot. We're going to slow things down a little more lyrical with a tune called Rosa Mitra by English composer Ralph Vaughan Williams, arranged by Edward Beeler. Very famous arrangement for band. Hope you enjoy it.
Our last piece we're going to play is actually it's in 6 movements. We're going to play 3 of them for you tonight. Some of you may have remembered us playing a piece called The Big Blue Marble. I believe it was 2022 when we had played that. That was by the same composer, Julie Giroux. That was actually her Symphony Number 6. These come from her Symphony Number 4, entitled The Bookmarks of Japan. Each one of the movements is from a bookmark, and it's actually from an artist that made up to 50. I think one made 55 different bookmarks, and another made, it was in the 40s. But these beautiful bookmarks that were all hand carved on a wood block that would get stamped many times. She took each of these movements and kind of dedicated after each of these artists. Some, I think movements 1 and 2 we're going to play today were from the same artist there. The first movement is Mount Fuji. If you can imagine yourself the early wee mornings before the sun has rise and mist is in the air, and seeing the sun rise, and then you being at the foot of Mount Fuji. The second movement is Marketplace Bridge, which is a famous place in Japan where you could see actually Mount Fuji from the bridge. You'll hear, as she describes, different instruments being different barters and different salesmen within the marketplace themselves. So you get to kind of hear a little bartering back and forth between the instruments. And the final movement we're going to end with is after a famous Japanese temple entitled Thunder Gate, after the various god statues that were around the temple, and she dedicated this specific gate. She got inspiration for that from that gate. So enjoy Julie Giroux's Bookmarks from Japan. As mentioned before, we have we need a lot of help this weekend. Well, another plug for the craft fair, but we also need a lot of help breaking the stage down so we can get this ready for other events that we have tonight. Thank you so much for coming out. Have a safe trip home, and we'll see you this weekend.